It is a privilege to be joined on the summit, our first summit of the new year, by the head men's basketball coach for Oklahoma Baptist University, Coach Jason Eaker, in his 7th season with the program. Coach, it's a privilege to get to visit with you. Thank you for taking some time with us today on a chilly day in January. I want to talk a little bit about the most recent game that you had. Let's get started there. Big second half performance, 44-point output in the second half, 74-52, a conference win over Northwestern Oklahoma to really, make a statement. I think 6-0 in conference play with that win. But let's talk about the win over Northwestern.
Well, first off, it's great to be on with you. And as we've talked about off air several times, it's awesome to see you back on your feet and doing well.
Thank you.
What an answer to prayer to have you back. And I know how many of us coaches appreciate all the things you do for small college athletics. And thank you for that. As it relates to our latest game, I'm very redundant in the 7 years I've been here. Each game in the GAC, and I mean this sincerely, and I know a lot of the guys that I've been in the league with for a long time, we all feel the same way. Anytime you can get a win, home or away, it's a monumental win. It's something that you're thankful for. You exhale for, I don't know, a couple hours, and then you get back to the next one. Northwestern, they have, I don't want to screw up any names, but they because we normally just give the kids their numbers, but they have a couple kids that can go for 30 or 40 points. And so I think we caught them on a good night. They missed some shots that they normally would make. We got a little bit of a gap. We got off to a great start, and then they really controlled the rest of the first half, even though we were up 1 at half. But I tell you what, a trend that we're starting to see develop within our team is we've had several games in the second half where our guys have played better. Statistically, we've gained momentum. And I think one of the reasons why is we have more depth this year. We have more health this year. We have more retainment experience. And so obviously you could go into hard work and strength and conditioning, and all those things are a factor. But just really proud of our team. We love our team. We brought back, we had 2 seniors that graduated, and everybody else on our team came back, and we signed a couple guys. And so we're enjoying all the straining and pursuing and this part of the season. We really feel like that the journey, the competition, the ability to get to work with a team that's coachable is really the reward. I mean, we want to win. Anybody that's seen us play or coach, we definitely want to win, and it's important to us. But the most important thing is that we're still together. We're still working to find solutions, and our guys are coachable. So long-winded answer, but it was a great win, and we're on to the next.
Coach, you can be long-winded on this channel anytime you want to. I appreciate you coming on. 9-3 overall, 6-0 in the Great American Conference, and you addressed this to an extent that every win in the GAC is a big win. You're at the top of the league standings at this point in time as the calendar has turned, and sharing that spot with rival Southern Nazarene, no less, a quality program too up there in Bethany. Talk a little bit about being up there at the top then, and what that means. So the last time that you all were 9-3, the season ended with a trip to the NCAA tournament.
Well, I would rather be 9-3 than 3-9, but the coachy part of me, every day's a new day. Part of our DNA as coaches and the coaching fraternity is we're just 6 games into a 22-game slate. So we've got 6 wins. You got to get to probably 10 or 11 or more to even qualify for the postseason. So we have a lot of work to do. What me and you have found over the last 7 years, and not sure how long you've been following the GAC even before then, but we've had years where we've started 2-2, 1-3, and been at the top of the standings. I know a few years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we started 5-2, and I only think we won a few more the rest of the way because of injuries and also because of the competition. So I hope you bringing that up doesn't jinx us. And I'm going to knock on wood a little bit because the wins are hard to come by. I mean, this week alone, we're going to Arkansas Tech. Everybody knows how good of a coach Mark is and his staff, and how good of a program that is. And then I wouldn't say that Harding is the surprise of the league, but Harding is one of the best teams that I've seen in our league. Very impressed, always with just Harding in general. But Weston, what a job he's doing. So we got our work cut out for us again, and then we come right back home. And I think we start back at home maybe with a Ouachita, and they might have, Coach Nutt might have the best player in the league. And so I try not to get ahead of myself and thinking about too many things ahead of the week ahead and kind of preparing our team because you're up against it each night.
Coach, I'll try not to jinx you, and that's something that I am concerned about here because I do want to, when I have coaches come on here when they're doing well mid-season, and there's still more games to be played. I'm really cautious about that. I'll tell you what, the next time that I get to broadcast one of your games, I'll be really. I'll tread light when you have good free throw shooters on the line and not say anything to jinx those free throws. You were talking about some good players, and obviously they work hard. Nathan Wilson has been putting up some numbers for you too, and very recently has grabbed the honor again for the Great American Conference Defensive Player of the Week, coming off a double performance, 13 points, 10 rebounds. He had 4 blocks in that game as well. That's a league high for this season in a single contest. And Wilson, at 6'8", is second in the conference right now in rebounds, pulling down 8.7 a game. So nearing double figures on that. Talk about his play.
Well, he finished second in the Great American Conference last year in rebounding. He's the heart and soul of our team, of our defense. He's developed his game offensively quite a bit. He's really improved from year 1 to now year 2. He is a selfless kid. If we win, he's excited. If FA, who is behind him, a sophomore big man, is in and is doing well, you don't have to teach Nate, mentor Nate, encourage Nate to be happy for others. That's his natural personality trait. And so we love him. He's so important to us, so enjoyable as a person off the court. His growth has been monumental to the point to where we're in January, early January, and we've talked as a staff several times about how much we're really going to miss him. And so I need to enjoy this last little bit of his career. But man, when you think about trying to replace him, either a high school kid or a junior college kid or a kid in the portal, I mean, there's no way that we're going to be able to replace what he does. His value is so much greater even than the statistics, even though he is. I didn't know that he's currently second, but he's had several games where he's told me that he wants FA in the game. Like, he just is a team guy. Really proud of him and really honored to coach him.
We're visiting now with Coach Jason Eaker from Oklahoma Baptist, 7th season in Shawnee. And Coach, it's win number 100 there at Oklahoma Baptist, in your first win of the season up in Minnesota, no less, to get the things going here in year number 7 for you. So congratulations on that. You were talking about this team and you mentioned the portal. Talk a little bit about that and the impact, or maybe in your case, lack of an impact that it's had on your team and where you are right now.
Well, it's a new time in college athletics. football, basketball. Those are probably the sports, Division I, Division II, that I'm the most familiar with. It's not really a time in college athletics or college basketball that I'm a big fan of. I think that it'll be better when we get some road underneath us on this new model. I liked the old model. I think we're right in the middle of it right now. As it relates to OBU, we were very fortunate in terms of we will have kids in the portal. We've had kids in the portal in the past. The coaches in our state, we have 14 Division I or Division II men's basketball programs in the state of Oklahoma. We obviously have 12 teams in the GAC. We're one of a few, maybe the only one in Oklahoma. I think Harding and maybe one other school in our league didn't have anybody in the portal. And so a lot of that was timing. A lot of that was situational. But it certainly has helped us. And I don't want to speak for the other teams in our league or the other coaches, but it has definitely knocked a few of those, not the programs, back in terms of, when you lose your best player to a Division I school, as like Arkansas Tech did, they still have a fantastic team, but I bet Mark would say that he would love to have his best, leading scorer back. I don't know that, but so we're glad that everybody came back. We're trying to use it as an advantage. Doesn't guarantee success, and we're not doing anything any more special or culture or all the things. Like we've been very slow to speak, quick to not brag about we did this, and so our guy, if one of our guys got offered $50,000 to go play at OU, I'm sure he wouldn't tell Coach Mosier and OU that he just loved, he probably would go to Norman. And so just the way that it is disappointing. I think what has made small college basketball so special over the last 40, 50, 60, 70 years is when certain kids like a Brantley Thompson or a Harrison Stoddard, a Adam Dworsky, a Kevin Buckingham, those type of kids stay at these smaller college programs, and you really get to know them when you follow the league, and those rivalries exist, like a Micah Spate or Jonathan Dunn at Southern Nazarene. But we're all trying to adapt. We still have an opportunity to influence young people. We still are allowed to build relationships. We're still allowed to care about and love and be there for our players, regardless of how long we have for them. And we're also still allowed to compete and put together teams from year to year. So there's still a ton of positives for what all of us view as our calling and our profession, but it sure is different. And I think a lot of us are trying to still sort through our own emotions in terms of how we feel about it, how best to navigate it, and how to not have that angst in our heart when one of our studs wants to move up a level. It does upset us. I've talked to many coaches in the business, but it's not the player's fault. It's not. It's the model. It's the structure of it. And then the Division I situation with all the money that's going on there. We've seen it in football. I mean, is it good for the sport that we have kids that are opting out at halftime of bowl games? I mean, it doesn't seem right. And so, but I don't blame the kids. I blame us adults, and we have to find a way to get to the other side of this new era. And I understand why we allowed some things from a organizational standpoint, NCAA, but it sure seems like to me and many other coaches that we could put some guardrails up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guardrails actually was the word that was running around in my mind when you said that. I agree with you on pretty much everything you said, Coach. I can't think of anything I didn't agree with you on. I also like you dropping all those GAC names in there. A couple that you coached there at Oklahoma Baptist, a couple from Southeastern Oklahoma.
Yes.
couple from Southern Nazarene as well. Let me drop a name that is current. How about Terry Connor? Doing well for you. I mean, I talked about the defense, but you have to put points on the board to win. He's leading the way for the Bison right now, 16.8 points a game and in the top 10 in the GAC currently. Tell us a little bit about him and your offense.
Well, first and foremost, awesome family, had a great high school career. I think they were 28-1 his senior year in high school. He was very under recruited out of Birmingham. We were very fortunate to get him. He was freshman of the year in the GAC last year. You know, he has not been healthy all year. He got to play a little bit against DBU. We lost that game at the buzzer. He did not get to play against Texas A&M International that weekend. He's been hampered throughout the year, and so I didn't know that he was averaging 16 a game. I do know how important he is and how special of a young man and player he is becoming as a sophomore. But we sure are looking forward to him finally getting healthy at some point. We've thought about sitting him down and not playing him for a few weeks, but he's been healthy enough to be available. But he's shifty. He's a team guy. He's a competitor. He's really we haven't seen the full extent of it yet because of his injury, but he's a heck of a defender. He's a shot maker, but he's a team guy. He wants him and his parents and the way that his father raised him. His dad is a basketball coach. His dad played at the University of Alabama, high character family. He's a winner. The people in his life, high school coach, parents, friends, they talk to him about the right stuff because that kid could get really lost in what me and you just addressed earlier about, where does his career go from here and what Division I school he wants to go to, but he doesn't. He lives in the moment, lives in the present, and we want to see him continue to develop as he was more of a just somebody like instant offense last year. And so this year, his next step of his development is just he's kind of a quiet kid by nature, is to develop more of those leadership traits, point guard skills, be someone that the coaches and the rest of his teammates can count on. And we've really keep putting that in front of him. And so similar to Nathan and the rest of our team, he's open to all that. He wants to continue to grow. He's a wonderful student, and he is just a dream to coach. But if he's averaging 16 now, we haven't even had him healthy. He hasn't practiced a whole lot the last month. Like I said, he set out a couple games there in the preseason and 2 really big games that he didn't get to play in. So maybe this injury will clean itself up and we can get him full strength as we go down the stretch of the GAC regular season.
Coach, just to stay there for a moment longer, you talk about not having him at full strength. There are times that one person comes in, times that production is then compensated for by committee. How are you putting the points on the board, and what do the rest of that offense look like?
Well, we have such a dependable senior, quality, experienced player, not only in college basketball, but also experience with us here as a staff, and Ricky Brown from Valdosta. Ethan Scott, who is the best shooter, in our opinion, not only in the league, but we would put him up against anybody nationally or in the region. He is that good of there's some guys that can make shots, and then there's other guys that are shooters. And we don't put that tag on too many people, our own little warped definition of what a shooter is. So we have Ethan, who was hurt last year. He did not get to play the last 20 games or so. He's a junior, but he's a sophomore in terms of basketball. He was able to get his year back last year. So we have Ricky and Ethan there. And J.C. Curry from South Plains Junior College, he has been probably the surprise We signed him in the summer. What a addition he's been. He's closed down several games for us by his ability to attack, get to the foul line, make open threes. He's a kind of a bigger wing in terms of our team because we have so many small guys. So he's our huge wing at like 6'2" or 6'3". He's a monster on our roster. And we got a and then Josh Yadomo, who was our leading scorer in the preseason. He got hurt in our last scrimmage playing against UCO in a scrimmage. And so he's still not back to 100%, but he's been working his way back these last few weeks. He's been available, but he's still trying to find his niche because we went ahead and obviously started our season and formed our team. And so we're trying to integrate him back. So we're still trying to move the pieces around and custom fit everybody around it. But, our main thing is we want to get our team healthy and then start building chemistry from there, because from here on out, the rest of us in the GAC, we're going Thursday, Saturday, the rest of the way, barring a pandemic or barring snow or ice. Hopefully we're able to do the last 16 games. So we want to get in a rhythm. We're still not there. There's been too many starts and stops. But everybody deals with that. I mean, you look at the NBA and college basketball, everybody goes through that. I'm not complaining. We're optimistic that we're going to have our whole team and get them in a groove here pretty soon.
Coach, you mentioned Arkansas Tech and Harding, the Northern Arkansas swing of the schedule where you're on the road for those two games, and that is what ahead Thursday and Saturday. Are there any adjustments for the weather for that, as there is the potential for inclement weather in this part of the country over the next 3 days? And then also just, I have appreciated visiting with you over the years and getting to know you as being a person of character. And I appreciate the opportunity to visit today. I just wanted to see what you thought about this team then from that aspect. I know that you kind of skirted the hard work issue. Well, we just do that. But you know what? You still have to do it. And so tell us a little bit about the schedule. Are there any adjustments? And close us out with what you see in this team.
Well, as of right now, as we're recording, our games are normally on Thursday nights are 5:30 and 7:30. As the time of this recording, I think it was 1-3 yesterday. Maybe it's 2-4 now. Don't quote me on that. We were gonna leave. We were gonna leave on Thursday morning because Arkansas Tech is probably the one Arkansas school that we can get to pretty quickly. It's similar to going to Northwestern or Durant for OBU. So I think we're going to go ahead and leave here in a little bit after practice, the girls and the boys team, and get down there for an early tip. And then it's TBA whether or not we're going to be able to get to Harding after the game Thursday or need to wait on Friday. I feel like this always pops up for us GAC schools, Arkansas, Oklahoma travel probably once or twice, as far as we either have to delay or we're monitoring it. But we've had many days here in Shawnee that have been, we haven't really dealt with the cold a ton. This week, it's almost like winter is finally starting. As it relates to our team and the rest of the year, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to go after it. We're going to give it everything that we have, and we're going to do it together. We're going to do it supporting our young men. We're trying to find that great sweet spot and balance that so many of us coaches go through during the dog days of conference play, in that heavy challenge with our young people, growing with the basketball, but also not forgetting about how important it is to grow their character and teaching them life lessons. Although you got to get ready for a Jimmy Elgas team or a Kelly Green team or Coach Foster at SNU, you have so many things coming at you. You can only give them so much, but we want to get everything that we can out of the experience, or we want our guys to get everything that they can out of it, and it not just be trying to win the next game. I do think that's a tricky balance, but that's why they pay us. That's why we got into this business. This is my favorite time of year is just getting to, they don't always love to see me. I'm not necessarily their whole life, but they're my whole life. And I can't wait to see them again today. Can't wait to watch young people go through the ups and downs and try to help them. And each kid is in a different part of their journey, a different part of their season, a different part of their career, a different part of their spiritual life. You know, at OBU, we get an opportunity to speak into their life spiritually. And it's not, we don't have to dance around it. You don't have to give them options. And so our team chaplain, a local pastor here who's a good friend of a lot of us at OBU, we do integrate that into our program. And so I just keep praying that God would do something special in their hearts and their minds, and that they would, even if we didn't see the fruit here immediately in front of us, next week or some big moment, that God would do something with our time together more than just trying to win the next game. Even though, anybody that signs up to play basketball for us is, one of the biggest things that we look for is you're going to have to love the game, because we sure do as a staff. We love everything about basketball and try to get into it in an innocent way, like the young people do, but at the same time, keep steering them and pushing them towards what God's design for this whole thing is, in our opinion.
Absolutely. Coach, I appreciate those words, and that was a big part of what I was looking forward to. And again, yes, getting to have the time together today was get to hear you close out and get to hear your perspective on that, and how we do approach it from a love of the game, but also from different aspects of our own being, spirit and soul and body, and all those things. Coach Jason Eaker from Oklahoma Baptist, safe trip for you all whenever you all leave here in just a little bit, and success to you all for the rest of this season. Currently 6-0 in league play in the Great American Conference, 9-3 overall. Thank you, sir, for taking some time with us today and talking some small college sports with us here on Midwest Sportsnet.
Joey, thanks for having me, and once again praising your health. And it was enjoyable again to speak with you, and looking forward to the next time that we talk.